Hi, dear listeners. Welcome to today's podcast. We're going to talk about the United Nations UN and its role in the world. This podcast is designed to help you improve your English with simple, easy to understand words.
That's right. Let's explore what the UN does while practicing your English. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English learning content. Let's begin. Alexa, what is the United Nations and when was it formed?
The United Nations, or UN, is an international organization that was formed in 1945 after World War II. Its goal is to promote peace, security, and cooperation between countries around the world. Today, it has 193 member countries working together on global issues like human rights, development, and health.
What are the main goals of the UN?
The UN has four main goals: to keep peace around the world, develop friendly relations between countries, help improve living standards, and protect human rights. It also provides aid during natural disasters and conflicts. These goals help ensure a better future for all people, everywhere. How does the UN help countries in need?
The UN helps countries by providing food, water, and medical care to those affected by wars, disasters, or poverty. It also helps rebuild schools and hospitals and works on long-term projects like education and health. The UN supports countries through its different agencies like UNICEF, WHO, and UNDP.
What are the UN's peacekeeping missions?
The UN sends peacekeepers to areas with conflicts to help stop fighting and protect civilians. These peacekeepers come from many countries and work together to create safer conditions. They also help rebuild communities and support peace agreements so people can live in peace again.
How does the UN handle global health issues?
The UN, through agencies like the World Health Organization, who works to solve global health problems. It helps countries fight diseases, improve healthcare systems, and make sure everyone has access to clean water and food. The UN's efforts have saved millions of lives worldwide.
What is the Security Council, and what does it do?
The UN Security Council is responsible for maintaining peace and security around the world. It has 15 members, and 5 of them are permanent members: the USA, Russia, China, France, and the UK. The Council decides when and how the UN should step in during conflicts or crises to protect people.
How does the UN promote human rights?
The UN works to protect human rights by creating international laws and treaties. It ensures that people are treated fairly, have access to justice, and are not discriminated against. The UN also monitors countries and provides reports on human rights abuses to help bring attention to the problems.
How does the UN help with climate change?
The UN encourages countries to take action on climate change by reducing pollution and using clean energy. It organizes conferences like the Paris Agreement, where countries agree to work together to limit global warming. The UN also supports projects that help people adapt to climate change.
What is the role of the UN in education?
The UN helps improve education by ensuring that children, especially in poor countries, have access to schools and learning materials. It works with governments to create better education systems and promotes equal education for boys and girls. Education is key to ending poverty and improving lives. How does the UN address poverty?
The UN helps fight poverty by supporting development projects in poor countries. These projects focus on improving education, healthcare, and job opportunities. The UN's goal is to end extreme poverty by 2030, making sure that everyone has a chance to live a better life.
How does the UN support refugees?
The UN provides support to refugees through the UN Refugee Agency (UNHCR). It helps people who have fled their countries because of war, violence, or disasters. The UN offers them shelter, food, medical care, and education. It also works to find long-term solutions, like helping them return home safely.
What is the UN's role in world development?
The UN promotes development by working with countries to reduce poverty and create economic growth. It supports projects that improve education, healthcare, and infrastructure, helping countries grow and become more stable. The UN's Sustainable Development Goals guide its work in this area.
How does the UN help during natural disasters?
The UN provides emergency aid during natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, and hurricanes. It helps affected countries by sending food, water, and medical supplies, and it helps rebuild communities after the disaster. The UN also works on long-term recovery to make sure people can return to normal life. How does the UN work with countries to fight hunger?
The UN helps fight hunger through its World Food Program WFP, which provides food to millions of people in need. It also works with governments to create programs that improve farming so people have enough food to eat. The goal is to end hunger by 2030 and ensure that everyone has access to nutritious food.
What is UNICEF and what does it do?
UNICEF is the UN's agency that focuses on helping children. It provides healthcare, education, clean water, and protection for children in need. UNICEF works in many countries, especially in areas affected by war and poverty, to make sure that children have the chance to grow up in a safe and healthy environment.
How does the UN help promote world peace?
The UN promotes world peace by bringing countries together to talk and solve conflicts peacefully. It uses diplomacy and peacekeeping missions to stop violence and protect civilians. The UN also supports disarmament efforts to reduce weapons and prevent future wars, making the world a safer place. What is the UN's role in protecting the environment?
The UN works to protect the environment by encouraging countries to reduce pollution and use sustainable resources. It creates global agreements to fight climate change, protect oceans, and stop deforestation. The UN helps ensure that future generations will live in a clean, healthy world. How does the UN support gender equality?
The UN works to promote gender equality by ensuring that women and girls have the same opportunities as men and boys. It fights against discrimination, supports women's education, and helps women gain equal rights in workplaces and communities. Gender equality is a key part of the UN's development goals. What are the Sustainable Development Goals?
The Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) are a set of 17 global goals created by the UN to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for everyone by 2030. These goals include quality education, gender equality, climate action, and economic growth, and they guide the UN's work in helping countries develop.
How does the UN work to stop wars?
The UN works to stop wars by encouraging peaceful negotiations between countries. It helps mediate conflicts and brings world leaders together to find solutions without violence. The UN also supports disarmament and works to reduce the spread of dangerous weapons to prevent future wars.
That was a great discussion on the UN and its role in the world.
Yes, it was. We hope you enjoyed learning about the UN and improving your English along the way. Don't